Good morning, everyone. Corinne from Mama's Little Lambs. This morning I'm going to be sharing something with you about April, and I'll be back to let you know what it is. Welcome back, everyone. This morning I'm going to be sharing in a collaboration with Natasha over at Educational Roots, and we are going to be talking about National Poetry Month. And April is the month for that. And we are excited. If you have not checked out Natasha's channel before, definitely stop by, check out her video. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscription button, click that notification bell. She has some fantastic videos, and give her a big thumbs up. And I will leave her information in the description box below so you can check that out. This morning, I'm going to be sharing with you some things that we are doing to celebrate Poetry Month. And I get every month, I get a new poem. It's the poem of the month. And I get them from Learning Through Literature. And this month is the poem of the month for April is called The Human Touch. And I'm just going to read that to you because it's absolutely beautiful. 'Tis the human touch in the world that counts, the touch of your hand and mine, which means far more to the fainting heart than shelter and bread and wine. For shelter is gone when the night is over, and the bread lasts only a day, but the touch of a hand and the sound of the voice sings on in the soul always. And I just really enjoy every month receiving a free poem. If you guys would like to get one, you can sign up through Learning Through Literature. It's absolutely free, and it is wonderful, and she has the most beautiful poetry. She also has some other things in her shop that you can purchase if you'd like. I am going to be sharing some things that we do and are going to be doing for the month of April special. The first one is called Structural Elements of Poetry. And this is by Stacy Lloyd, and I got this from Teachers Pay Teachers. And we are going to go over some of the information in here, and the contents are introduction, the structure of a poem, stanza structure, line structure, rhyme and meter, poetic sound effects, figurative language, forms, and then at the end they do have a quiz. However, we usually don't do quizzes. We do oral narrations as long as my daughter can tell me back what we've done. That is what's most important to me. So that is one of the units we will be using. We're also going to be using by Evan Moore, Poetry Patterns and Themes. And I really like this book because it's really good for anyone that's wanting to start writing poems. It does give you a list in the table of contents. I'm sorry, let me get to that. And it lists out different poetry forms. And it explains them. So there's couplets, there's giving poetries, there's different ballad poetries, there's free verse, there's obtuse verse, there is different ones like my poems, and there's metaphora poems. There's several different kind. And what I really like about it is like on a couplet, it tells you couplets are composed of 2-line stanzas that rhyme. So my friends are fun to have around, except when they stomp their feet and frown. And it just goes through, and then it asks you to select a subject and then write a few lines about it, list words that rhyme with the last and the first line, and then it just has you write out one. So you're starting out by doing, and this is a giving, and it tells you exactly what it is. So this book just goes through, it explains everything, tells you what each one is, and it is just so good to do. And I just really thought this would be helpful for us to learn. It's by Evan Moore, like I said. So this is another one we'll use. A few things that we do is I use Charlotte Mason Enrichment Studies. And this is volume 1. And it's a year of art, music, literature, and more. And in here, she has scheduled in poetry. So there's first day, second day, third day, fourth day, and fifth day. So on the second day, and you can mix this up and float it however you want, make it your own, she talks about poetry. So for 5 minutes, we're going to spend on the poetry that that we're reading. We're going to talk about the poem. We're going to talk about the poet. And then on day 5 is on Fridays. And every other Friday, we do poetry tea time. And we share poems, and we do recite the poems. And we have several books that we use. But I really like this because it lays it out for you, kind of helps guide you along. And it's got some other great things. Like I said, it's got art, music, literature, and more in here. And it's for grades 1 through 12. So this is her enrichment program. There's also another book that I use. The book she suggests I will show you for the poet that we'll be talking about. But this is Tea Time, Volume 1, and this is a modern Charlotte Mason, and I really like this. And like I said, you don't have to follow these to a T because, first of all, we don't do poetry every day, but it has Term 1, Day 1 of the week, tells you how to prepare. And this gives a suggestion of, as you're preparing for your tea time, to put in some folk music. What I do is we have a composer that we're studying. It's Bach for this term, and we have that music going as we are relaxing, having something to eat, having our lunch, enjoying our tea, and as we start to read, it's just in the background. It's very settling, it's very calming, and it's beautiful. But this tells you to prepare, and then it talks to you poetry reading, and this is, you can recite your poems, pick out poetry books that you want. You can do a handicraft while others are listening, and you can sing folk songs. And it just goes through, and like I said, there's several days, but we don't follow this because we don't do it every day. But this is really nice for poetry tea time, and it gives you a lot of great information. So that's something I really like. The poet that we're studying this year, and she has one a year, is Enjoying the Poems of Robert Louis Stevenson. And this is a really nice book. It's plain, it's just black and white, but I do like this for a middle school age. It's perfect. And then it goes through, it gives you all the poems that are in here. It also is getting to know Robert Louis Stevenson. It tells you a lot about him, about his life, how his poems are written, what inspired him. So it's a really good. And if you notice on the sides, they have notes so that you can be familiar with what the poem is about. So it kind of sets the stage for you. So this one that we're working on is called Nest Eggs. And it has a description over here. Like I said, it gives you lots of information so you can get a full picture and kind of get your mindset on what he's trying to let you know. And this, like I said, is for her. Now, I do have A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevens, and they have the same poems in here that they have in this one. And because this is black and white, and this one has the nest eggs, it's nice and colorful. And it just brings to life the poem more to me. When I see color and the birds and everything on this page, it makes me get the feeling of being out and looking at a tree and spotting a nest. So this is really nice. I like this book because for my little one, who is kindergarten age, this is perfect to be able to show him the picture, and then also she has her book. And she will do narration, and she will recite a poem a month. Now, in the poetry tea time, and I think Charlotte Mason says one every term, but we do a poem each month, and she has to recite that poem. And it's just beautiful, and I so enjoy doing this at Poetry Tea Time. And Garden of Verses, A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevens, and it's just beautiful. We have a few of these. I'll show you the other ones. But I like it because it coincides with this book by Charlotte Mason. So I like having both of these so Mason can see colored pictures and he can actually see what they're talking about. There's also this one, A Child Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevens. And like I said, some of these pictures are black and white, some are colored. So this one kind of depends on which poem you're reading and which page. But I do like it because there's poems in here that are not in the other book. So these are really nice. So I do like this one. I also have this book, Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevens. And they're just, I think this one, yeah, this is color in black and white too. For some reason, his illustrations, they have some, like I said, are colored. And they're very pretty. I really like the pictures, so I do like that real well. The next book that I have is Julie Andrews' Treasure for All Seasons. And these are songs and poems to celebrate for the year. And we are right now focusing on spring. And they're very pretty pictures. Illustrations are beautiful. And we are talking about April because April is National Poetry Month. So I love the illustrations in this picture too. So this is another great book that we're using. Another one is A Child's Book of Poems. And this is big pictures, bright and colorful. I like this real well. So I like that one. One of my favorites is Outside Your Window, a first book of nature. And in here, it has poems about nature. And I just love this one about nesting. It's such a beautiful picture, and it's called Nesting. And it's just gorgeous. I absolutely love this book. So that's another one we love. And then Sing a Song of Seasons, a nature poem for each day of the year. And this just goes through each month, and it shows you different pictures and has a different poem for each day. So I absolutely love this book also. All these books are just so gorgeous. They're so beautiful. I love poems, and I love these books. The last that I want to show you are by National Geographic. The first one is called Book of Nature Poetry. Sorry, tongue-tied there. So it's got really beautiful pictures in here. Absolutely gorgeous photos. Beautiful. So there's this one. The other one I have is The Poetry of the U.S. And this is just beautiful. Gorgeous, just like the other one. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. I don't know if this is making it as pretty as they are, but they are gorgeous. And then the last one I have by National Geographic is Book of Animal Poetry. And just super beautiful. Look at that beaver. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So these are the books that I have, and we have many more, but I wanted to share these with you because these were some of my favorite books. So I love this one, Song of All Seasons. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I have enjoyed sharing my time with you. If you get a moment, please stop by Natasha's channel and also give her a big thumbs up, as I said before. And she's awesome. She's got tons of different things she does videos on. So you'll have lots of information to gather from her. And if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for stopping in. And I just want to tell you scripture. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. Galatians 5:22 and 23. May God richly bless you. May you enjoy National Poetry Month. And thank you again. Bye-bye.